What up, y'all? It's your boy J Shaw 03245. Added that zero because I'm a bucket like Agent Zero. But nah, been a minute, damn near like 7 years. But hopefully everything's going well with y'all. Duke's still getting the best players. And I just want to do a little quick recap of what I saw for the first two games. And I want to keep this short and brief, and I want to make it fun. So I'm going to give you guys a chance to kind of like engage, and I'll tell you when to pause. So I'm gonna try to give you things that you don't get from everywhere else, and not a fan of group thinking because there's too much of that in the world. Everybody want to be like yourself or be like each other, really. So I want to give you guys a reason to come back here. So under 15 minutes, so I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna really hop right into it. So I'm gonna talk about the Dartmouth game and what I saw. So I remember watching it live, and I remember tweeting out that some of these lineups make me want to throw up, and we all saw that Mark Mitchell was hurt, so John did some interesting things by going with one. Ryan Young was clearly like the guy that he thought was next in line if Mark Mitchell goes down, and then the four guard lineups. And I'm not gonna harp on that because you guys can see that shit. Like, you guys can see that. Anyone can see that with eyes. That's obvious, and a lot of that stuff is fixable. But for me, what people haven't been saying is that you know how they say you play down to your competition? I thought John coached down to his competition on Monday. Yes, we won by 40, but if the goal is to win a championship, then you want to get the TJs, the Sean Stewarts, he Foster played, but like, you want to get the guys that I think that mainly Sean, hopefully TJ, got to see about him, but hopefully, but definitely Sean. You want and Reeves. You want to get those guys in as much game experience as possible because like the season really is short and every single game matters. So you want to be building good habits from start to finish, and you want to be building lineups that like where guys get chemistry together, where they know where to be and they're comfortable and they're in these environments and like they're just they're slowly climbing the ladder. You know what I mean? I thought John didn't do a good job of doing that, but that's kind of college basketball. Sometimes you'll see a dude that can win me for the free throw line, and you're like, why the fuck isn't he starting? Why is it like, what's going on? And I'm like, nah, he's a freshman. Or like, we remember the Joey Bakes over at AJ Griffin. So I'm not gonna harp on that because a lot of that shit is fixable. And I said I'm gonna try to give you something that you didn't see. What I didn't see anybody talking about is Proctor. So on Monday, not on the Arizona game, the Dartmouth game when we won by 40, Proctor didn't get to the cup. Like, he didn't get to the paint. And I don't know if we overrated him. I still have hope in him. I still have my stock in him. But if he's not going to be who we thought his, might be a long season because he's supposed to be the three-level scorer that people can't keep out the paint because he's 6'5", he's long, he can shoot it, he can score literally anywhere in the court, and he has vision out his ass. So when I'm watching the game, as I said, as John's building good habits with the rotation and putting guys in situations to succeed and building chemistry, Proctor has to play like that. He can't play down to his competition. So what I saw Proctor playing down to his competition was he didn't live in the paint. So I count paint touches. When you get to the paint and you break the defense down, that's when the ball starts zipping. So if Proctor gets to the paint, he swings it to Flip, he swings it to McCain, who swings to Rose, slack attack a towel. You know what I mean? Or it doesn't matter who it lands on. They get the attack, close off, and you start playing basketball the right way. Proctor didn't do that, and I didn't see anyone talk about that. So that's something that I noticed on Monday. People said he had like 8 assists and whatever, and I'm like, he's settling too much. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what he had. He's settling too much, and he's not getting to the cup enough for me. And I'm like, and if I'm John, you have to correct that. But people thought they were like, whatever. So that's what I'm looking at the lineups, and I'm looking at Proctor. So going into Tuesday, I'm thinking we're going to lose because I'm like, I'm already thought that us by not having Mac and really not getting a transfer big, I thought that kind of left us vulnerable. I don't think we're as deep as people think just because we're kind of deep at the same position, and the position that we need to be deep at is where we aren't. So I feel like we're like fake deep, if that makes sense. And yeah, so as we're going into the Arizona game, those are like my thoughts, and like you could see it, and I'm like, all right, let me see how we look with Mark Mitchell because we're gonna play like a different style, and everyone just assumed Mark Mitchell could shoot, and sometimes this group thinking when people say it enough, like you kind of start like buying into this shit of the 5 out, and like the whole time I remember I watched the Cameron Crazy, and I remember thinking like, why is everyone just assuming Mark Mitchell's gonna leave? Because like the dude's really not that crafty. He can't shoot. He shot 35% from deep on like 1.5 attempts a game. But more importantly, it's not that the form looks bad, but he doesn't want to shoot. Like, he really doesn't want to shoot the ball, and like you can see that. So I'm like, all right, going into the game, rebound is going to be a problem. I thought the defense looked good, but defense to a certain extent, because like the possession ends when you secure the rebounding, and we didn't do that. So trying to keep this short and brief, but what I'm looking at is I see one, Proctor not getting to the cup again. He's settling too much. Like, if you look at his shot chart, a majority of his shots have came from deep. And I'm like, it's not about like terrible shot. I thought he did shoot one selfish shot, like off the rip. I remember it was early in the game. He has McCain right there. He walks in and I'm just like, oh, the shooter, this is Slack Attack Tower. At least it's a good look. Proctor still shoots the shit. And I'm like, all right, that's just kind of selfish. But more importantly, he wasn't getting to the cup. He wasn't breaking down the defense. And like, in order for Duke to thrive this year, he's going to have to be more aggressive, and John's going to have to put him in situations to get downhill where he can break down the defense, and then he can play make, or he can score, which we all love about and why we're so high for him. Like, John has to correct that. He should have corrected that shit on Monday. And somehow he missed that shit. Everyone's talking about, well, they're not as big, they're good defense. Like, no, like, John didn't do what the fuck he was supposed to. He didn't do his homework on Monday. So when it came on Friday, like, there was more work doing. Now he's scrambling, you know? So that's how I'm looking at it. If you go back and look or whatever, if you're one of those fans, like, I think people like really might see that and like, oh shit, like, he's actually right. Or maybe I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong if I'm wrong. Like I said, I love engagement. But as a whole, the biggest problem, as I said, everyone can see Young shouldn't be playing. It should be Sean. But the biggest problem, what I saw is Mark Mitchell. Like we want to play small, we want to play fast in the shooting. But if you have one guy who can't shoot, that, like, we got to be a well-oiled machine. Like, you got to fit. And right now, having one guy that can't shoot is kind of gonna be a problem, as you saw. And, well, as I saw, I think a lot of people kind of didn't see. And I remember tweeting into one of these big, to Duke NBA. And I remember saying, like, everyone's talking about problems that are fucking fixable. I'm like, you guys are missing they're missing the big picture here. I'm like, the real problem right now is Mark Mitchell. If Mark Mitchell can't shoot and he doesn't hit that shot, and like, his track record shows that, like, he doesn't want to shoot that shot. Tape doesn't lie. Like, he does not want to shoot that shot. You see him pass up on a lot of threes last year. And Arizona literally did in the game. And I'm like, the real problem is, like, why don't they do that to Mark Mitchell? Even though, like, they did it. And he's just like, that doesn't work. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. Even though, like, they did it. And then someone else writes to me. I'm like, what the fuck do y'all be watching? Because they literally did it that night. Like, what do you think I pulled that out of my ass? Like, clearly we're watching different games. But anyway, so that's my problem. And I think that's something that might not be fixable. So how would you guys fix that problem? Because everyone could be saying, like, March Morris was going to shoot or he could get downhill, but, like, he's not that crafty. He doesn't really shoot well. So, like, what if he doesn't shoot the ball well? Like, and Ryan Young's not playing, then what? How does Duke look? Like, what do you, because that's something that's a real problem to me. So pause this shit right now, comment, let me know, tweet if you're at my Twitter or whatever, and let me know what you guys think. Like, what would you do as your coach? What you're going to do? So hopefully you guys did that, and like what I would do as a coach. So right now, Mark Mitchell's way too important for me. So right now, like, I think it's psychology. Like, if you start missing a few shots and they're giving you the Ben Simmons treatment, like, you can get in your own head and get defeated. And basketball is so much mental. So, like, right now, instead of making it worse and having Ryan Young close out games and shit, I'm gonna put the battery in his back. I'm gonna say, bro, listen, you're way too vital for us. Like, even if you're not hitting the threes, you're still gonna play. Like, we're putting the battery in your back. So, like, Flip can shoot. So the beauty of Flip shooting, just flip them shits. It doesn't matter who the fucking roller is. Like, we have Proctor, Roach, we have McCain, Foster. Use Mark as a screener. Turn him into a fucking elite screener. Let him fucking get those guys going downhill. Let him, which I would think would help the guards a lot. Let Flip can help space the court because he could still fucking shoot. So you could still get to do the 5-out shit. You know what I mean? So I think that will really work, using him as a screener. I think using him as a cutter. Flash middle, float game. He looks like he has a soft touch. Like, simplify the game for him. Make it easy for him, but more importantly, make him feel like he's a part and that we know, like, what he brings. So, like, he's not in his own head and he doesn't worry about, if I miss a 3, I'm getting pulled here. Like, you know what I mean? So that's how I would do it. I would just simplify the game for him, use him as a screener. You might be able to do a little high-low with Flip. So, like, instead of, okay, maybe the 3's not so great. How about, is your foul line instead of jumper good? Because you could get a nice high-low with him and Flip right there. So, catch it at the block. It's limited dribbles. You have space around there when you're flashing. If everybody else is out, and if Flip's not out and like he's down and he's trying to like seal his man, like you could lob that over the top. But if the guy's sagging, shoot that midi. The mid-range isn't dead. Like, simplify the game for him, and that's how I would counteract it if I'm a coach going forward, because that's what I see. And I'm like, everyone just keeps saying like Mark's gonna hit those shots. What the fuck? If he doesn't hit those shots, what are we gonna do? So like, you gotta be able to end game plan adjust, and you gotta be prepared. Like, you gotta be doing your homework. So that's what I see. And more importantly, I'll go down like the Duke players of the things that I saw that I really like. I talked about Proctor. He needs to get downhill. Like, if he's not it, like, we already know we're gonna be in trouble. So then I'll talk about McCain. I thought McCain did a really good job on defense, like being in the right spots of when they play pick and roll. He had a few steals. They tried to little boy him, and he said, no, I'm a grown man. So that's the transformation of him living in the weight room. Like, that dude is a basketball junkie. They lost, and he went after, and he's still shooting. Like, he leads by example. I love that kid. Like, they really tried to like bully him, and like, you're going to see that a lot. They tried to make football moves instead of basketball moves. So I think that kind of helped them, because like, they're like, oh, he's little, I'm just going to just be able to just bully him. And he was like, I'm not a little boy. Are you dumb? He got a few steals. He shot well. I think I would like to see him get a little bit more shots. You know what I mean? Just because he's a fucking, he can really shoot the shit out of the ball. So love that kid. Going down, I thought Roach was, the only one that was actually able to kind of like get his own shot, which is really a bad sign, because especially for a Duke team that has so many guards. We have a lot of guards, and Roach, I'm going to be honest. I told you, I'm not into the group thinking. Roach freshman year, he didn't make, like, I'm going to tell you why I think this of Roach. Roach didn't make the tournament his freshman year. His sophomore year, he was the only point guard of the team. He got benched, but he didn't sulk on it. I'll give credit where to do. He came back and he had that march. That's why everybody loved him when they went to the Final Four. He was still a plate on defense. Caleb Love and fucking RJ Davis used to fry him. Junior year, he was an efficient scorer who didn't shoot the ball well from deep, and he's been a point guard his whole life. And the thing that gets me so mad is that he breaks down the defense. Because remember, before he was the point guard of that team, and he got moved off ball again. Like, he breaks down the defense, but he just never swings it out. Like, he does it. I don't, like, he rarely makes the right play, but like, he'll do it sometimes, and you're like, oh shit, maybe it clicked for him. Maybe he can do that. But he just doesn't do it enough. So, like, I don't trust him as enough as, like, my lead ball handler, shot creator. Like, I just don't. I don't care how many clutch shots he hits or does or whatever. Like, I don't trust him enough. I don't care that he's an upperclassman. I don't care that he's a senior. Like, his basketball IQ isn't where I think it should be for a guy that played point guard all his whole life and has the ball as much as him. That doesn't mean he's a bad player or anything. He's going to be all ACC probably. He definitely can take over games with his shot making ability. I would just like him to be, he's a plate on defense, but more like that's fine. Like, okay, everybody has a limitation. I would just like him to make better basketball plays, better reads offensively, that helps the team instead of just him. Because like, I think there's another level that he just has not tapped into, and for whatever reason he can't tap into that. So that covers Roach. I was really looking for a Mark to be a little bit more dynamic just with the floor space, because there's 4 shooters around, and theoretically you would think a dude with his size and ability, like when Duke gets guys like that, it's really hard to fail. But like everybody's different, and I don't think he's gonna fail. I think, as I said, John, to simplify the game for him, make him a screener, have him flash, float games, high-low games, shoot the midi, but like just off like simplify the shit for him and make sure he's knows he's important. Flip looks like a National Player of the Year, like. Those are some big boys in Arizona. Flip, they didn't know what to do with Flip. You know what I mean? They really did not know what to do with Flip. And shout out to him. Like, I'm not worried about him. He was dragging guys to the finish line last year, and he's dragging. It looked like he tried to drag us to the finish line last game too. So that's what I think. I think that the defense was better than I thought. Rebound's going to be a problem, but we already knew this. The team needs roles. Like you gotta find a way to get guys to know like what their defined roles is so that they can know how to get more minutes and what to do. I saw Reeves get a little bit minutes. Reeves, like when you come in, you gotta fucking help control the fucking paint and the glass. I thought what something I picked up on I think Proctor having a lob target. I think we saw him do that shit with fucking Lively. He's really good at. He's a bigger guard. He uses screen, manipulate, holding people on their back where it's kind of like 2-on-1. He threw that shit right to fucking Reeves. So like, if you're gonna pair someone's minutes, pair that shit with. It would help Proctor getting him going downhill, and it will help Reeves get a bucket anytime you score. You know you have a little bit more energy. We know how basketball works. So pair those guys' minutes together and see what you got there. He doesn't have to play a lot. If he could just give us 10 minutes, 15, like whatever, like 5. Pair their minutes together is what I'm saying. See how that goes. Sean's high energy. I like him. I would love to see more of him, to see like what we actually got in that kid. Drop TJ off in the hood because he's supposed to be one of them. Kid's way too talented not to be playing. Like how is I don't know. Like I really want to see what he has. Like that's what I would love to see. But like I said, get like. Foster's 6'5". This team is small. He looks like he's a guard that can like he looks like the best athlete out of the Roach and like the McCains. And like you're not gonna get Proctor's minutes because even though he was bad, like what he still does for us is still gonna be like you're not getting those. Like you might be able to steal some minutes from McCain and Roach. So what I would do is like if you want to steal some minutes, like we got a lot of scorers. Like Proctor wants to be a scorer, Flip wants to be a scorer, Roach wants to be the scorer. McCain's trying to. So, like, you're 6'5". Use what you have with those guys don't have. Come in there and be a defensive stopper. Like, have the mind. Like, tap into these guys' brains and be like, yo, we need help on the boards. You're 6'5" and long. So, how about you help rebound? Like, we got a gang rebound, but, like, you're 6'5". You should be aiming for, like, 5 boards a game or 4 boards. Like, come in, attack the glass. But as I said, make it easier on Flip. So, like, he does, and so there's not so much on him. Like, give these guys roles, give them challenges. Like, Mark Mitchell, like, you should just, when you step on the court, you're one of the best athletes. Like, you should be getting, like, 6 hustle points by just beating people down the court. Offensive rebounding. Like, use your strengths, bro. Like, be a fake rim protector. Be the defensive coordinator, you know what I mean? Be super loud. Send guys, let people know where the screen's coming. Let guys know the play. Like, you should be on that. Like, if you're trying to get to the league, you want to play professional, like, be real with these kids. Like, give them challenges and let them be stars in their role. So it seems to me like there's a lot of structure going on, and that starts with the top with John. So that's how I'm looking at it. That's what I would do if I was John. Let me know what you would do if you were John. Let me know what you're looking forward to Tuesday, and how you would counter-react some of the things that teams might try with us. I wonder. I do hope that it kind of looked like a glorified pickup game. Everyone keeps saying Duke played bad, but Arizona played pretty bad too. Khalid Love is one of them. To be that good, he has a very, very low IQ. Like, that's part of the reason I'm like, I don't know if Arizona's going to go that far, because 2 possessions, 1 possession could swing a game. Like, he is very hard. Like, he was single-handedly keeping Duke in the game at one point. That shit was crazy. And I don't know. I would love to see him helping the guards. Like, he thought he had Kyrie on the bench. I remember one possession, it was like Foster just trying to go one-on-one. Then he gives it to McCain, who gives it back to Foster. And I'm pretty sure, like, we ended up, like, turning the ball over or some shit. And I'm just like, the fuck are we doing out here? Like, give us some structure. Like, more pin downs for McCain's. Like, double drags. Like he did have one of those, and I'm not gonna front like I noticed it. Someone tweeted it out, but I would love to see him just help guys and putting them in situations where like their strengths. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like we're getting Flip the ball, we're getting him in his spots, and Flip's really good because like his spots are kind of literally all over the court. Like it really doesn't matter with him, it looks like. So but you got to meet other people where they're at, and then you got to tap into like their brains and let people know what to expect of them. Like it's fucking hard if they don't know what to expect. And it kind of like seems like John is just, you can hoop, so just go out there and do good. And if you're doing good, you'll play more. And if you're not, you'll get pulled. That's what I'm seeing, and I'm hoping like he has counters and he actually has plans and like he's actually like putting shit together. The defense was better than I thought though, so that's good because I thought we were gonna have to play zone. I still think that going forward, our best lineup is going to be Proctor, Foster, McCain, Mark, and Flip. That's just me. I know a lot of Duke fans love Roach, and that doesn't mean I hate Roach. Like that, I was looking at it as Roach comes in and he can still close out some games if he's going and just like change the energy of the game because like he's just seemed like he only wants to score. You know what I mean? So like I was thinking like he comes in and he's like, you want to be the bucket? Just get the bucket. You know what I mean? Like be that sixth man, come in and fill it up. And I was hoping that he would tap into Foster and be like, hey, you're also you're one of our most dynamic scorers. You're also 6'5", but you can fucking defend. Like, but you gotta be with them. Like you gotta meet people where they're at, and like you gotta lead them as a coach. So that's just what I saw. Let me know what you guys think. As always, comment, subscribe. And thank you guys for listening. Appreciate it. Every like, retweet means a lot. But more importantly, engagement. I like engagement. I'm not the smartest person. Like I said, like if you think you know it all, you really kind of cut yourself off to learning other people's perspective. So like I don't think I know it all, and I will give pushback. Just because I'm giving pushback doesn't mean you're wrong. I'm just challenging your belief as you're challenging mine, and it's okay to agree to disagree. So thank you for listening, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it.